Hello, everyone. Welcome to Growth Channel today. We actually have a very special guest. We have Danielle Muñoz in the house, and she is a power lifter. So she's going to share a little bit about her story. Welcome, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, Danielle, can you tell us a little bit more about who you are? So, who are you?
So, I was born in Bakersfield, born and raised. I've been here my whole life, and I have two kids. I have a boy and a girl. My son plays football. My daughter is a cheerleader, and I am, like you said, a powerlifter. I've been powerlifting for almost 10 years,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, I've done sports pretty much my whole life. But after high school, I decided to just start powerlifting, and it's stuck with me ever since then.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't compete anymore. I did for maybe like a few years, but I've been really busy with trying to finish school and just kind of get my career going. And so right now I'm focused on that. And I work, I'm in school full time and go to the gym, just kind of train to maintain for right now.
Got you. Now, I did do some research on you, right? And as far as like the powerlifting and things like that. Now, you're Hispanic, right?
Yes, I'm full Mexican.
So, ¿de dónde eres? ¿De qué parte?
So my dad is from Jalisco, and then my mom's side of the family is from Nayarit, Zacualpan.
Nice. Have you been out there before?
I've been to Nayarit, Zacualpan, when I was 15. I've only been there once though, and then I visited like a beach called Platanitos.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
and so I've only been there once, but I plan to go back one day with my kids.
Nice. So the time that you went by yourself.
No, yeah, I went with my mom and my tia and my some of my tios because my great grandma was passing. So we went to visit her, and then that was the only time that I went.
Got it. Got it. Now, as far as the bodybuilding, how was it being I remember you mentioned you were a single mom, right?
Mhm.
How was the bodybuilding with your kids? Because a lot of people make their kids an excuse on why they shouldn't do something, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, how was that experience for you?
So during the time that I was powerlifting, I actually wasn't a single mom. There was a little bit of time that I was afterwards, but I mean, even then, I we didn't really have anybody to help us watch my daughter at the time because when she was younger, she didn't like staying with people. She only liked staying with her dad's mom,
Got it.
and she lived in Lemoore at the time.
Mhm.
So we would take the kids with us to the gym, and the gym that we go to or that we went to, I still go there. It's such a friendly environmental gym. Like, just you can take your dogs, you can take your kids, but no, there was times that I was in there training for like 3 or 4 hours, working a full time job, going to school, and I'd be there sometimes till like 12 at night, 1 in the morning, just training
Wow.
because I knew the goal that I wanted and I knew that I wanted to get it and I knew I was going to do anything to achieve that goal.
Got you. So what inspired you to do it in the first place?
So, somebody that I used to be friends with started going to the gym that I'm at now called Mass Power. And she, at the time, I was looking for a trainer. And she told me to try out that gym. So I did. I saw what I liked. And it was just kind of like one of those things that you just have to like go for, just see if you like it. So I got a trainer, or I'm sorry, a coach,
Okay.
a powerlifting coach right away. And I trained with him 4 times out of the week in person. And then I saw other girls there just lifting heavy, and I was like, I want to do that. Like, it looks
Right,
cool. I
right.
was like, it's so badass. Like, seeing girls lifting heavy. So I talked to my coach, and I was like, hey, like, I talked to a few of the girls, and they were telling me, you know, when doing your first powerlifting competition, it's just one of those things that you just kind of have to do for fun and not to really achieve anything, but just to kind of see how, like, get the feel for competing, basically. So that way you know what it's like, and then you go into the next one like ready to like get a record or break your own personal record or
So it becomes a lifestyle.
it definitely becomes a lifestyle, absolutely.
And apparently it kind of follows you everywhere, right? Like we
Oh
hear up in the back, we hear all these noises that we're in the gym, right?
yeah,
Like that's interesting.
yeah.
So it became a lifestyle for you, but come on. I know there had to be something that pushed you to want to do more? Because at the beginning it was just for fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then what kept you going? Because everybody starts the gym for fun or to get some results, to, lose weight, to, for their health. What was it for you? Was there some sort of like pain, some maybe childhood traumas? Like, was there something that pushed you to want to become better? Because you're not just a regular power lifter. Like, you did broke two world records in your level, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Like, what did it take you to do that? That's big.
Um, there's a lot of factors that pushed me to do that. Well, my first powerlifting coach, I only had him for a little bit of time, and networking and meeting a bunch of different people. See, the cool thing about the powerlifting community is that everybody is very supportive of each other. So, I mean, regardless if you're competing against each other, whatever it is, like we all just support each other. It's not like how I hear with sometimes with bodybuilding, like, it can get a little ugly in the back when people are warming up. But with powerlifting, it's just not like that. Like when you're competing, like you're meeting new people and you're getting to like learn new things all the time, constantly learning something. So then I got a new coach after meeting people, and he kind of just became like more of like a father figure to me. Okay. And we got really close, and he did like so much. Like he accomplished world records himself, and
So it was like a mentor to you.
yeah, he was. I honestly, my parents were never really like my grandparents were the ones who pretty much raised me. Like yeah, I was never really like very close with my parents growing up, and so having him was
Was
really
there a
cool.
reason for that?
Um, yeah, I mean, when I became like a certain age, my mom got with my sister's dad, and yeah, it wasn't a very good experience.
Got it. Got it.
And my dad didn't live in Bakersfield; he lived in Riverside. So, I mean, so I have four sisters. I have two with my dad and two with my mom. So he had his kind of like his own family. He would talk to me like here and there, but I just wouldn't see him very often. And the older I got, the more busier I got with other things. I had my son when I was really young.
How old were you?
I got pregnant when I was 16.
Oh wow!
And I had him when I was 17. And then I went on independent studies for like 2 months and graduated like a few months after that. So I mean, I still finished high school, but I did have my son at a really young age. So my grandparents were just always the ones that helped me. And so anyway, he just kind of became a father figure, and he just pushed me to like limits that I just didn't know that I had, and so he's probably the main reason why. And then when I met my daughter's dad, he was a powerlifter, and so he also helped and encouraged me. He's a really great dad, really great person, and so like even now, like having him just like as a friend and like co-parenting wise, like he's really great. And if I needed help with competing again, he totally do it. So like those two people right there are probably what helped push me to want like better for myself.
So it took a community to get you to where you needed to be.
Yeah, because powerlifting, honestly, any sport is it's mental. Like
Right.
it's you overcome adversity, and so a lot of people struggle with that, because like in your head you're like, how am I gonna lift this much weight, like just looking at it.
Right.
But then you have to like talk yourself into it, and like I said, overcome adversity and just
Can
kind
you
of
share a
like
little experience on when you what's the heaviest you ever lifted?
the heaviest I've ever lifted. Which lift?
Like whichever one. Like give us, I'm going somewhere with this, right? Like give us the mental toughness that you were telling yourself, or what were you telling yourself when you picked up the heaviest you ever lifted?
So with powerlifting, I don't know if you've ever seen people sometimes will smell like those ammonia salts.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
I think so, yes.
You have? Okay, yeah. So they'll like smell salts, to kind of like it's like a slap in the face for them almost, right?
Okay.
So I would either do that or I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to smell those salts. Like they're literally killing me. So I would literally like slap myself on the neck like right before a lift and just kind of like get really aggressive and like just tell myself like I'm gonna lift this, like I'm gonna do it. But what gave me that like motivation too was watching other powerlifters. Like following other female powerlifters was just so inspiring because they would share their stories, and then just seeing them lifting all that weight, I'm like, wow, like I'm sitting here training and I could do that. Like if I really set my mind to it and really give it my all, like I can do it. Like
So it
I
was
know.
like a mental switch by just
Yeah.
looking at them.
Oh yeah, just like watching them and I'm like, I want that. And then I would go and look at the records and be like, oh, I can totally do that. And I tell my coach, like, I want to get this record. And he'd be like, all right, let's do it. And then we'd train for it and then keep going and going and going and going. And that's why I have like 32 overall national, state, world records.
Okay.
To
Look at
get
that.
to my two world records. I wish
What were those two records?
squat and deadlift.
Okay.
My squat was at 536 and then my deadlift was 523.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll never lift like that much again, but I got there.
How
So
long did it took you to do that?
honestly, it took me 2 years. It took me a good 2 years. So I trained 1 year and I was still able to lift that much weight. But my first time ever competing at the Olympia, because I competed twice, I bombed out of my meet. So bombing out basically just means like each lift you get 3 attempts. So squats, bench, and deadlifts you get 3 attempts for each. You have to at least get one of those 3 attempts. If you don't, then you bomb out of the meet and like nothing counts. You can still keep going, but it's not going to count towards anything. And so I wasn't hitting depth all the way. And so, in front of thousands of people, like I bailed and it was embarrassing, but I didn't give up.
Were you nervous?
I was nervous. I was very nervous. And
How was it feeling?
Oh,
Being in front of all those people and you're about to break a world record.
Oh no, it was so nerve wracking. It was my dad was there, my mom, like everybody, and I get my hands get really sweaty, and then like I get really bad cotton mouth when I'm
Okay.
nervous. But even to this day, like no matter how many times I've competed, I still get that same feeling of nervousness.
So it never goes away.
It doesn't go away. Some people it goes away. Me personally, it does not go away. I think it's like a mixture of excitement and nervousness.
Right.
But once you get on the stage and you have all that weight like on your back or in your hands, it's just kind of like surreal. And you're just like, wow, like I'm here, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it was kind of embarrassing the first time but then there's only like I believe 7, depending on the federation, there's only like 7 meets in a year where you can get world records.
Okay.
And 2 of those meets are local for me. So I found another one in Vegas that was a few months later.
Which one was the one that you hit it on?
It
The
was
world record.
It was the Olympia, but the second time I competed.
Okay.
But I failed twice. So I competed at the Olympia in Vegas in like September. Then that November I competed again in Vegas, but for a different meet. And I failed that one too. And I was like, all right, like I'm gonna lock it. Like this was a year right before COVID. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna keep going. Like I'm not gonna give up. Even though I failed twice, like I'm still gonna keep going. So then that year, for 2 years I never missed a day at the gym. Never, not once did I miss it. I'd even go extra if I could. And then finally in 2020, during COVID in December, I got my world records at the Olympia.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
You. It was probably the best feeling like ever. Well,
can you share that? Can you share the moment? Okay, because I want you to go back, right, and remember that day. Because it took 2 years.
Yeah.
To get that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think, okay, we're just gonna go and lift this weight. No, it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
And you failed a couple of times. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about what was the emotions when you failed. Like, what emotion triggered it to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna give up. Were you mad? Like,
oh yeah,
what was it?
It was a mixture of emotions. I was mad, embarrassed, sad, just like. But like I said, I had my daughter's dad there to just encourage me, and then my coach to encourage me and tell me, like, don't give up, like, like everybody messes up, like it's okay, like my coach competed with me, so that was another cool thing is that he would do competitions with, so it made it that much better.
Got it. It was fun.
It was fun. Yeah, it's always fun, and I just love that, like, I can go out of town and meet new people. Like, you just start, like, networking and just
Right.
meeting new people everywhere you go, which is, I think, is like, the best part about it.
Right.
Just
Right.
everybody you meet is just so amazing. Yeah.
Interesting. Now let's talk about the day of. Was that one of the happiest day of your life when you did get to accomplish it?
Oh yeah.
How was the feeling with that?
Oh my god, it was one of the best feelings. Because during my prep, um, it was like I said during COVID, so I had a lot of people in the gym supporting me. Every time I would go into the gym, people would stop what they were doing to go spot me or to watch me lift. Like it was like I would feel that feeling being on stage all the time because in the gym, like I said, just I had so many people encouraging me and just rooting for me. And so I'm like, all right, I have all these people. Like
Did you feel like you were gonna fail them if you didn't?
I didn't want to, I knew the feeling of failure and I didn't want to feel that feeling again. So I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure I get it this time.
Right.
And so I did. And um, that moment's also very special to me because um, I've never been to Vegas without my dad. Every single time I've ever gone to Vegas was with my dad. That was the last time I ever went to Vegas and got to like do anything with my dad
Mm.
because that August, so December of 2020, I got my records, and then 2021 in August, my dad passed away.
Sorry to hear
So
that.
yeah, so I didn't like I haven't gone to Vegas since then. But that made that moment even that
More
much more
special.
special
Right.
because he was there. And like I said, I've never been to Vegas without him. So I'll always remember that.
Right.
And yeah, so it was just a really great feeling. And I feel like my dad was never really proud of me of a lot of things. And so to have him there and be really proud of me made me feel better too.
I'm so
Same thing
happy
with my
for you.
mom. Yeah.
That must have been a very beautiful feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely a really great feeling. And um, telling my kids, my son, he's so awesome. Like, he's always bragging about me and my records and stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
like everybody, it's
Well,
like
he's got something to brag about. That's good.
yeah, he's so sweet. My daughter is the same way. Like they're just it's cool that I am able to be that kind of inspiration to my kids too.
Right. Right. You're leading by example,
Yeah.
and that's why now they're in sports.
Oh yeah, my son, he teaches me about football. He's a quarterback and when I first saw him, I didn't even know he had an arm like that. Like um and I don't know much about football still. Like I'm still learning. But he's very like he'll go and watch YouTube videos on football. Like you sit there and talk to him about any team, any player, he'll tell you about it. Football,
Right.
basketball, like
And how old is
he's
he?
11.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's interesting.
Yeah, he's really knowledgeable in the things that interest him. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or me and him are very alike in that way.
Hmm.
So
Well, you are his mom.
yeah. Yeah.
Now, be honest with us. What did you eat after the competition? Because I'm
What I
assuming you were in
eat
a very disciplined diet, right?
No.
You weren't.
No. I'm gonna
Okay.
be so 100% honest here. Okay. Um, my nutrition coach, he gave me macros to follow. So with bodybuilding, they have like a menu that they follow,
Right.
right? I mean, they probably have some substitutions they could do here and there, but it's all on paper for them. For me, it was this is how many fats you should do on this day, carbs and protein. And so I just kind of did whatever would fit my macros. I would try to like eat decent, but
So you
then
didn't even try that much when it comes to the eating.
not really. Well, I just had to. Well, I didn't because I was normally competing in the 181s, but then I wanted the record in the 198, so
Okay.
I had all that like leeway to just kind of like do whatever. And I was like, whatever's gonna make me stronger, like I'm just
Right.
gonna do that. And so after the Olympia, that's when I started focusing more on my body image and like my physique and stuff like that. Because I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to be this big anymore." I
Mm.
got my records and I got my what I wanted, but like now I want to not look like a power lifter.
Right.
Lift like one, but I don't want to look like one.
Right.
Um, Not that all powerlifters look like that.
Right, right.
But a lot of people think that we do. A lot of people just think that we're just a bunch of fat powerlifters, but we're not. Like, honestly, it's just all preference. Like, there's powerlifters who look like bodybuilders, and you would think they bodybuild, but they're actually powerlifters. Um, I think the physique's just a little different. If you're a bodybuilder, you know the difference, you know. But somebody who doesn't know about bodybuilding or powerlifting, you would look at them and be like, "Oh shoot, like you're a bodybuilder," you
Got
know.
it. Got it.
So then that was my next goal. I was actually training for two more world records in 2022. I was 5 weeks out from competing at the Olympia again. But it still was fresh after my dad had passed away. So it just mentally, I was just like, I couldn't
You couldn't
anymore.
do it.
So I decided to just not.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand when losing a loved one, it takes a toll on you
Yeah.
mentally,
Oh, yeah,
mentally, emotionally,
for
sometimes
sure.
even financially, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I've been doing the life insurance for 8 years, and people don't understand that. Like when someone passes away, it could get very expensive.
Oh, and then it was a year actually, 2021. Like 2020 was my best year, and then 2021 was probably one of the worst years for me.
Right.
But I'm very grateful for everything that I went through that year because, like I overcame adversity and it helped me become a stronger individual. And um, I think, like I told you before, I feel like sometimes God puts us in positions because He needs us to be there for other people. And so that year, May on my birthday, me and my daughter's dad broke up. And in August, my dad passed away. And in September, my grandpa passed away. And my grandpa's the one
Right.
that raised me. Um,
And your
and
relationship with them was very close as
oh,
well,
yeah,
right?
they did everything for me. I lived with them most of my life. And my grandma helped me raise my son.
Right.
I was a young mom. Like, I didn't my mom wasn't really there when I had my son, and so um, that next year in 2022, in May on my birthday again, my one of my best friends, his mom passed away.
Mm.
The funeral was on my birthday, and it's kind of like God knew He was gonna need me there for him,
Right.
you know. Then that next year in April, my that other best friend, her dad passed away.
Mhm.
And so it was just kind of one of those things where God was like, all right, like, I know you can handle this. So, like, I need you to do this because they're going to need you. And, sure enough, like they did. And I
Right.
was able to know how to be there for them because I had already gone through it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Have you always been a believer?
Oh, yeah, my whole life. I went to Christian school from preschool through sixth grade.
Okay.
And then 2 years in high school, I went to
Mm.
Christian school, and I grew up in the church. My grandma, she always would teach us about Bible and just telling us how important it is to go to church in our relationship with God. And my grandma was like an usher for the church; like she'd always do things with the church. My grandpa too. My grandparents were very, very involved with their churches, and
Mm.
so that was like another reason why I've always had like a close relationship with God.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Did you still have like a very close relationship with the Lord when you were powerlifting?
Yeah, I did, but I'm not gonna lie, like we're not perfect. There's times that I would stray away and like I wasn't very as close as I should have been with God. But we're human. We mess up as long as we pick ourselves back up and talk to God and ask for forgiveness. I feel like that's what's important
Right.
to recognize.
What's your favorite part of the Bible?
My favorite part of the Bible is probably all the books that talk about Paul.
Okay.
He also overcame a lot of adversity, and he was one of Jesus's disciples, and so the stories of Paul are just like if you really dig deep into those, there's just so many relatable stories.
What was one that inspired you the most or helped you get through all that adversity that you went through? Because that was a lot to take in a year, you know?
Yeah,
So I've been through something similar. So I understand your pain. That's why I was able to relate with you a
yeah,
lot. And I'm like, dude, we could really make a great podcast
yeah.
with you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what was something that helped you get through that season of your life? Because that's what it was. It was just a season.
Yeah. And what's crazy is like I I got closer with God. You know, a lot of people are upset with God when they lose somebody and they just like want to blame him. And it's like it was kind of one of those things like, okay, this is either gonna make me or break me. And
Amen to that.
yeah, I didn't really have anybody. I went through that by myself, like losing my dad, losing my grandpa, the relationship. I went through all that by myself. Because my mom and my grandma were like, and even my stepmom and my sisters, like they were like, we need you to be there for us and be strong for us. And it's just kind of like, oh my God, like this is my dad's job, like, you know?
Right.
And so I had to be the strong one for everybody else. And so I bought a women's devotional Bible,
Okay.
and I really, really, really enjoyed it because there was a story for every day of the week. And so I would read the story, and it would also come with a verse, and it also ask a reflection question. And so I really encourage anybody who like has never read a Bible and want to start to get a devotional Bible. They have men's ones too that are amazing. And like, you know, everything's always changing, so there's always an app for this, an app for that, so it can explain it better.
Right.
So it was just honestly God got me through so much. Like there was a time, this was like a couple days after my dad passed away, I was telling God like if because my dad wasn't really a believer. Like, he was never really close to God. So I was always worried that like he didn't go to heaven. So that was my biggest worry. And so I remember praying and telling God like, show me a sign, like show me anything that my dad's with you and that he's okay and that he's good. And I remember one time my dad used to use my Pandora account,
Mm.
and he had this station on there called Oldies But Goodies. And so he plugged in, or I plugged in the phone into the car, and right away that station came on, and then the first song that plays was My Girl by Temptations, and he used to sing that song to me when I was little. And I was like, oh my God, that's God right there telling me like that my dad's good. Like he's like telling me like my dad's okay, like stop worrying about it. Like I just felt like that was just God. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. It's crazy how he does certain things to confirm,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Now, what were some blessings that you received after all the adversity?
Um, so I stopped working and went to school full time while my daughter's dad worked. But after we broke up, I was just kind of like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? Because he moved to Lemoore. That's where he was from. And I was like trying to look for a job and just like trying, and then got hit with my dad and then my grandpa. And the day after my grandpa passed away, I got a phone call for a job that I had applied for. And yeah, I started working within like that week or that next week. And yeah, that was probably like the start to everything because after that job, oh sorry, I only worked that job for like a few months, and then I started working at Zama. And Zama, like when I started working there, my income changed so drastically. I was like, there's no way I'm like making this much as a server. It was a brand new restaurant and had just opened. So there's a lot of business people, and I barely got trained as to be like I'd never been a server before. Like I was a server for maybe like a couple months at 1800. And then I became a server at Zama, and they just kind of like threw me in there, and that changed so much for me. So I was able to like do more with my kids and like um just a lot like yeah, so it's like God slowly just like added things into my life to make it better. So yeah.
Sometimes he takes everything away
Mhm.
to make you realize
Oh yeah.
that's the only thing we have is him, and
Mhm.
everything is borrowed.
Oh yeah, and he'll do it, he'll take it
He
away.
will. He will.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he teaches you to be grateful,
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
about everything in life.
Absolutely.
And then when you keep seeking him, he starts blessing you with more and more and more.
Yeah.
Now, what is some advice that you would give a girl or anybody who wants to get into powerlifting?
um
What's your best advice for them if they want to compete and get national, world records, stuff stuff that you have done? What's your best advice?
so um I mean nowadays social media is just like your key to a lot of things, right? It's like it gives you access to so much now. And so not every town or city has a powerlifting gym. There's a lot, but not there's a lot that don't have it also. So my suggestion would be to follow powerlifters, like look for powerlifters, follow female powerlifters, male powerlifters as encouragement. Message them, ask them questions because I am like 98% of the time, every single power lifter that you message, they will respond and give you advice and lead you to the right path. And that's what's really cool about that community is that everybody's just so willing to just give you advice and like encourage you to do better and lead you to the right path for powerlifting.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to share to the audience?
Um, I just if there's something that you want to do and you're scared to do, I think that you should just do it anyway because you're never gonna know if you like something if you don't try it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming to the
Yeah.
podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, not a problem. Well, there you guys have it, guys. God bless you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Take care.